Welcome into the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday. I'm your host, Tim Dennis. We have a heck of a show for you today, folks. In fact, we got a really good show today. Jessica Freeberg will be with us, and we'll have Dumb Crime, Stupid Criminals coming up in just a bit. But first, we're going to go a little bit off the beaten path today. We have a really good crime fiction thriller for you today. Not true crime today, but a fiction thriller, one that I had the pleasure of reading over the weekend. In fact, it is being released today as we speak. It's called Bless Your Heart, a Thriller. My guest is quite the esteemed guest today. Leigh Dunlap is with us. And boy, I'll tell you, this book, if you like, I'm trying to think of the way to put this. If you like Desperate Housewives meets the perfect crime thriller and whodunit. It's kind of a mix of
Look at that. I got to steal that from you, Tim.
Oh, okay. I'll let you say it, Leigh. Leigh is put together that type of debut novel in Bless Your Heart. Boy, I tell you, I had a great time sitting down and reading this book this weekend. I'll tell you a little bit about it. Leigh is the screenwriter behind the hit movie A Cinderella Story starring Hilary Duff. She's also wrote Spy Girls based on the popular teen book series for producer Lawrence Bender, and Camp Rockaway for Sony Pictures and producers Doug Wick and Lucy Fisher. Her movie 16 Love was one of Gravitas's and Warner Digital's top titles, and The Standoff, starring Olivia Holt and Alex Wolff, was released on Netflix. Leigh is a member of the International Thriller Writers and the Mystery Writers of America. She's lived in many places, including Buckhead, which we'll talk about and is the subject of this particular book, and currently splits time between Johns Island, South Carolina, and London, England. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome in for the first time to True Crime Tuesday, Leigh Dunlap. Hi, Leigh.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Let me first off say I thoroughly enjoyed this book. I was surprised by certain parts of it. We're not going to spoil it, but was really surprised by the ending of this book.
Good.
And I love the characters in this book. I absolutely loved each and every character in this book. They were incredibly diverse, even though I know we're supposed to get that feeling of suburbia here, and the fact that, and I even love the term Buckhead Betty, and we'll talk about that here in a second, but the fact that we're supposed to get the idea that these women are supposed to be of privilege and they're supposed to be similar and blending into the background. They're far from that, aren't they?
Oh, that's nice of you to say. I hope they're unique and each have their own personality. I tried to create, there's six main women, five of them who are Buckhead Betties and one who's a detective. And, they share a lot in common. Most of all, motherhood. That's kind of what links all of them. But beyond that, as much as I think you might have your prejudices about what kind of women these are, that are they, oh, they're rich, they must all be a certain way. I hope, you can see that they are all different kinds of people.
What I love, especially in a good book like this, is that even though they may be women of privilege, everybody has their challenges, everybody has their issues, everybody has
Yeah.
their problems, right?
Yep, all worldwide.
Yeah.
It's so easy to look at someone and say, "Oh my God, look, they're so beautiful and they're so rich. Their life is perfect. I hate them." But we all know nobody's life is perfect, and everybody has some kind of challenge. And ultimately, it's so easy for us to pick out like, why are we so different? Oh, that person's so different from me. But I mean, we're 99% the same, and we're picking out the 1% differences. So I just think everyone's got that everyone dies, everyone has somebody who dies. Everybody, if they're, I have to say lucky, if you're lucky, you live long enough and your parents live long enough to see them pass away and to have that experience. So, we all have so much in common. But you can hate them or like them, but they're hopefully they're sort of real people.
I think the one difference here that I think you tried to point out here in the book, and correct me if I'm wrong, is
Mm.
that you try to point out that these women of privilege are just trying to gloss over the challenges as much as possible, trying to get through it as quick as possible to get on to the next point in
Hmm.
life. Um,
Yeah. Well, I feel like that's all of us, maybe. Um,
but
you're
maybe,
just trying to get past.
but maybe a little bit more so than others because they think their stakes are higher. You know what I
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Yeah,
mean?
no, that's right. That would be definitely be right. And you're putting up a facade to try to keep this illusion going.
Right, right. Like
Mm-hmm.
they feel like their stakes are higher. So
Mm-hmm.
so whereas, someone like me, I can let my guard down because I don't have anything to lose, right? They feel like the
Oh,
stakes are so much higher because they feel like they have this enormous spotlight on them, right?
yeah.
If they make a tiny mistake, well, it's a glaring mistake because the world is looking at them. Whereas if I
Yeah.
make a tiny mistake, no one's watching me, right?
And I wonder sometimes if that's also sort of a male female thing. I think women are much more attuned to what people think of them more than a lot of men are. So I think that plays into it too.
That could be, and I think you're right there. Yeah, it and by gosh, the biggest mistake is made in this book where there's a central character here, Anderson Tupper, who's the coach of the little league team, where all these women are centered around because their sons play on this little league team. Who's killed, and all of a sudden it is a glaring uh, thing on the community where all of a sudden
Yeah.
one is pointed out as a potential suspect. So
Yeah, I would think in a small community like Buckhead, and relatively small, this rich sort of Beverly Hills of Atlanta, if one of their own dies like that, everybody's going to be pointing fingers,
right,
wondering who's involved, which is fun. So that's kind of where it all went.
that is. Um, let's get into some of the characters here before we jump into break because you've created this rich tapestry of characters that I find incredibly fascinating. I want to talk first about
Mm.
our detective Shay, who um, it's funny. Shay is constantly drawing a parallel of herself to Miami Vice, which I find is funny. But
She doesn't want to, but they're forcing it on her.
right, they're forcing it on her. Why is that being forced into the dynamic here?
That's interesting. I don't know. I honestly don't remember how that came up. Um, but then I'm like, oh, I like that. That's fun. So I just thought, probably because Shay is black and her partner Dub is white, and kind of like in Miami Vice, it would be a fun thing to play with because they're obviously not cool like the guys in Miami Vice, but they probably want to think they are.
I thought it was funny at one point in the book. There's a younger member of the police force who doesn't know what Miami Vice
No,
is, and
they
I'll let
are.
people read that. I'm not going to spoil it, but the fact that there's actually a member of the police force who doesn't know what Miami Vice is and then goes and Googles it, it's the wrong.
Youth is so annoying.
Yeah, it's just yeah. The fact that you wouldn't know what Miami Vice is to begin with is just funny.
Right.
But I mean, to think that there is a generation that doesn't know what Miami Vice is.
Well, I'll say, I mean, I thought I was talking with a friend of mine, and when I grew up, and you had your three channels plus PBS, that was it.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
you'd watch The Little Rascals or Shirley Temple movies. It was kind of the same thing over and over again. My son has no idea who he would not would know who Shirley Temple was. He had no idea what the Little Rascals were, or I Love Lucy, or any of the Flintstones. It's already just kind of gone, which
Your
is,
son doesn't know who the Flintstones are?
I mean, he might have a passing knowledge of it, but I don't think he'd know the Jetsons. Maybe Astro, but
He doesn't watch
yeah,
Boomerang?
no,
No?
no, they had their own. I mean, all the shows he's watched as a kid are probably unknown now to kids today. It
Huh.
moves so fast, and they had so much content. Way more content than we did. So or I did. So yeah. But I always think. You and I have sort of we both like sports,
Yeah.
and I grew up a big Reds fan, and personally I happen to love Pete Rose. And I'm sorry, I know that's controversial, but I do.
Oh, no.
And my son knows who he is. We went to Las Vegas, we met him at his signing and everything. So I wrote this show once that was never made, and I put a reference to Pete Rose in, and all the executives were like, "Oh, you can't do that. Kids won't know who that is." So, well, they won't know until I put it in. Then maybe they'll find out. So yeah, things just kind of get erased from history pretty quickly.
Okay, so I would argue that because, and you're going to laugh when I tell you this, Pete Rose had an afterlife in WWE. I'm a
I
WWE.
did not know that. Really?
Yes,
What
and
did he do?
he was known for. You're gonna okay. Now I'm gonna disparage the memory of Pete Rose, but I think he was
Okay.
pretty funny too. He had a running joke with the wrestler Kane for being tombstone pile driven
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
at different big events like WrestleMania, where
Really?
yeah, it
Oh.
went for different it went from the 90s into the 2000s, where Pete Rose would show up at different WWE events where Kane was, and Kane would get a hold of him and tombstone pile drive him and then leave him laying. And Pete used to love it. He used to think it was the funniest thing ever. And
And it made some money too, I assume.
yeah, and made some
Yeah.
money. And there was a whole generation of wrestling fans that knew Pete for being the guy who messed with Kane.
See, and then they get to learn about him.
That's
Like,
right.
I like bringing in stuff from the past because then I don't know about you, but if I'm reading something and I don't know that person or that reference, I go look it up,
Yeah.
and I learn about it.
Yeah.
So
So
I had a segue there. Sorry, I diverged. I diverged into baseball.
hey,
Sorry.
that's why we have these conversations, Lee. See? So, but again, talking about references, it's fun to see these references that come up in books, and you go, "Hey, how does
Yeah.
someone not know what that is?" But it's funny to see that someone younger go, "I don't know what that is,"
Oh, definitely. They don't.
you know. But
So
even if you tell them, "We'll go Google it," well, after they Google it, go, "I've never seen anything like that." Well, it's out there. Go see, it's YouTube.
if they even Google it.
Yeah, but then
Oh,
YouTube's a
okay.
beautiful thing too, because there's episodes on
Yeah, that's right.
right of Miami Vice. So go watch an episode.
hmm
I mean, it was cutting edge at the time, right, Lee?
Oh my God. Remember how big it was? And the
Yeah.
song, the theme song was so big, and the white suit that Don Johnson wore. Um, I can't remember what Philip Michael Thomas wore, but those Miami kind of colors. I mean,
They
it was
were
the coolest.
they were linen jackets. I had one.
Linen. You had one.
I had one.
Of course you did.
I had one. Not gonna say
Yeah.
what my hair looked like, but I had one time.
As long as you didn't have a mullet.
It was a
It
spiked
was.
mullet, and it was curly in the back, and God took it away from me because I abused the privilege. Just kidding.
Because he knew better.
Yeah, he knew better than I did. He said, "Nope, we're just gonna take that right away from you. You abuse the privilege." So, but our we'll get back to our detective here.
Right.
Shay Claypool, uh, which I got to tell you, I absolutely fell in love with her character because she
Hmm.
is the hardcore skeptic throughout the book, who at one time or another is looking at everyone and I
Mhm.
think is breaking everyone down and thinking there's a reason why this person could be behind the murder of Anderson Tupper. I think this person could absolutely be that person, and here's why. And really is the fulcrum that
Yeah.
runs this book, or kind of goes to each and every person and says, "Well, here's why I think you could be it," and keeps your mind running. Well, I think this is why this person could be this person, but at the same time, you get a feel for who she is too. Tell us a little bit about her and who she is.
Yeah, she's a working mother, a working single mother from South Atlanta. So she doesn't live in Buckhead, which is more North Atlanta. So she lives in just a normal neighborhood and has a fairly normal life, but kind of a clouded past with her ex-husband. And her son is also a part of it. And she really, of all the characters, I always feel like when you write something, a bit of you is in everything and every character, whether you intend to have that be or not. And I think she's the most like me. So I did enjoy writing her the most, especially her relationship with her son. And also, you say, oh, having that detective like in every book is a great way, to take you through a book and an investigation, obviously.
Mhm.
But I liked being able to play a little bit with the fact that she has her own prejudices about who these people are and how much does that cloud her judgment about what's going on. So that was I mean, it's a big part of the book, honestly. Her feelings about these people. So it's good to follow her through all of that, and maybe she's thinking some of the same things you're thinking.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, let's talk a little bit about some of the characters here and how they set up here. One of the more interesting characters here, and I want to delve into how much of you is in Kira.
Because it's the most obvious one, right?
Most obvious
She's
one.
a YA writer from California, and I write YA movies, and I'm from California. And I came to Atlanta, the same thing. Other than that, um, most of her is not me. She has some problems that I've never had. And she's much more, I don't know, timid, I guess. I'm not. She's much more guilty. I'm not. So a lot of that stuff is not me. She has a relationship with her mother that I did have, and so I did definitely draw on that for her character.
Yeah.
But beyond that, sadly, I don't have a big mansion in Buckhead. I wish I did.
Right.
She's super successful, and I am not at that level. So that's where the comparisons end.
What's funny is when she comes to Buckhead, she has this fame, but in the Buckhead community, they have no idea who she is. She's almost
Hmm.
anonymous, right? She
Yeah, they wouldn't know, and until it's brought up, I mean, you'd be totally ignored. And then, of course, once it's brought up, everybody wants to be her best friend.
right, right,
So
and
she's important. She's relevant at that point.
right, and she writes this like you said, young adult science fiction stuff. But even so, there's like some religious uh, people in Buckhead that are like, well, that's kind of like the devil, and that's not necessarily
Hmm.
our cup of tea, right?
Yeah,
So there's even
yeah.
part of Buckhead that kind of pushes her to the side and says, well, we don't quite know if we want to accept you yet, you know.
I mean, again, I think people trying to find the differences, you're always going to try to, especially probably at that sort of Buckhead Betty level, they're going to be trying to find out reasons why not to like that person.
Right.
Yeah, they're all outsiders competing, I guess, is the best way. And I think even no matter how integrated you are into it, everyone's always still an outsider. It's just because it's a competition for, I don't know, social resources.
There's other things keeping Kira kind of on the outside there. She spends a lot of time in the guest house. She writes out in the guest house.
Hmm.
But that's also an undertone for other things, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't want to give away too much, but yeah, she writes out in the guest house and maybe she lives out there too.
Okay.
So yeah.
And she has two kids, Iris and Colt. Colt plays on the little league team, and
Mm.
Iris is her daughter, and things are a little strained between her and Iris, right?
And Colt, yeah, she's very restrained relationship with her children, and that kind of hangs over her whole life. And then she did it to herself, and she's going to have to figure out how to get out of that.
Yeah,
But yeah, there's definitely a lot of trauma in that family.
very much so. On the other side of that, you've got Vanita, who's a very strong character, a lawyer,
Mm,
matter of fact,
hmm.
who's married to probably the most famous guy in Buckhead, and that would be
Kind
Mark.
of like Herschel Walker.
Kind of like Herschel. There you go. Hey, you made a Georgia Minnesota connection here because Herschel Claypool's
There you
like,
go. That's
there you go.
right.
That's right. You've got Marcus Wiley, married to Marcus Wiley, former Atlanta Falcon, former University of Georgia football player.
Hmm.
You're hitting me right where I live here. That's for sure. Um, who, although he had a short football career, he's had a couple different incarnations in Georgia, but he is the most loved guy in Georgia.
Yeah, he's the mayor of Atlanta. I mean, not literally, but yeah, he is sort of the Herschel Walker kind of level of fame. Herschel Walker never needed to play another day after. being at Georgia. He didn't have to go pro to be set for the rest of his life, at least if he stayed in, stayed in Georgia. So that's Marcus, and Venita's his wife. They met at the University of Georgia during his heyday, and she kind of took over the management of his career. And then, they segued into, I used segue twice. Amazing. They segued three times into having a car dealership, and Marcus doing commercials, and rising to the top of the Buckhead pile.
And their dynamic is very interesting because not only does V- Vanita really seems like she's kind of holding Marcus up. I mean, Marcus isn't exactly a dumb jock, but at the same time, I mean, a very smart man, but Vanita really is his backbone. I mean, she's representing him in one
Yeah.
respect, but she's really holding things together behind the scenes. She just doesn't put herself out there as, you know, I'm the person behind the scenes. She lets him be who he is out front, but
hmm
when it comes time to call the shot, she calls the shots.
Yeah, I think she's smart. She's very smart, so she knows that that's the brand. That's where the bread is buttered. So she definitely guards that, and I think they also have a great relationship. I think they have a very loving relationship, and a really nice family. And she came from a nice family, but money is definitely the driving force in their lives.
Yeah. Yeah. Very interesting character there. Tell you what, we'll take our break here, Lee. When we come back, we'll talk about some of the other characters here in the book. And then we'll tell people exactly what kicks us off and what gets this thing moving because it's very interesting how everyone then plays in. This is a fascinating book, folks. And we have a link in the description of this program so you can go get this book. It's on sale today. It kicks off today. So we want you to go get this book. It's called Bless Your Heart, a thriller. Leigh Dunlap is our guest, and she's the author of this wonderful book. Again, go get it during the break. It's in the link in the description of this program. When we come back, we'll talk about the other characters in this book, and they are fascinating at that. And then we'll talk about what exactly kicks off this book and how these characters fit in and what their motivations could be to want to murder Anderson Tupper. We'll talk about that when we come back right here on the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday. Welcome back to the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday. I'm your host, Tim Dennis. The book is Bless Your Heart, a thriller. My guest is Leigh Dunlap, who is the author of this wonderful book. And before the break, we were talking a bit about the characters in this book. They're fascinating characters at that, and talking about what their possible motivations could be to want to murder the coach of their Little League team or the co-coach of that Little League team, Anderson Tupper. Uh, let's get to Sutton. Uh, Sutton Chambers, who, boy, you want to talk about it. There's always a spark plug in every book, right? The one who you go, my goodness, that's a character. Sutton Chambers is that character, I think. One who will turn heads in every room and make you want to gossip. Tell us a
hmm
little bit about Sutton Chambers, who she is, and why she's in the position she's in. I use position loosely here, Leigh, but go ahead.
Well, if you're going to write a book about a bunch of rich women, you got to have a trophy wife. So she is the trophy wife. She's the youngest of them all. She's married to a rather old rich man, and things are not going well for her. And she's worried about losing her status. Um, she's probably not that bright, but maybe she really is. I don't know. And I guess of all the characters, and I said earlier, there's a bit of me in every character. There's none of me in Sutton Chambers. Um, I don't know who she is, but she has to exist. So yeah, she was fun.
Very fun. And there's even in her terrible circumstances, there's a lot of comic relief. There
hmm
really is.
Yeah, she's fun.
And there's something about I love inappropriate humor. I really do. To
Do
me,
you?
it makes the world go round. It really does. And there's a lot of inappropriate moments here, but it's very funny. It's
Good.
it's
I
an
want you to have fun. That's all I really want. I just want you to have fun.
yeah, and so there if for those of you who, I mean, you know, even in a thriller, there's times where you just have to take a moment out and go, my God, did that really happen? But it did.
Good. Yay.
It's
Yay.
that
I love to hear that.
it's that quick shock that you go, wow, okay, that happened. But it's also it makes you giggle and you go, okay, now we can move on to the rest of the story. But hey, laugh. That was fun. Um, and you get plenty of those moments with Sutton, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, she honestly super easy to write that character because she's just so on the nose, over the top. So who doesn't want to write the young trophy wife? I mean, that's fun. Like,
She is fun. But at the same time, you realize that there's this little hint of her that she realized at a young age, you know what? If I'm going to get by in life and survive, I realize there's only one avenue for me,
yeah.
and I'm going to take it. And
Hmm.
boy, I'm going to hit it hard and I'm going to go. Right.
And has herself, I think, convinced that there's more to it. That I think she thinks she's probably a little more altruistic than she is,
Yeah.
or that the universe conspired to make this happen for her when really she's just really pretty and cunning and
Yeah.
put herself out there.
And maybe she doesn't give herself enough credit. Right.
Maybe I think, well, I don't know. I still, even myself, I still don't know how smart Sutton might really be.
Yeah.
So I don't know myself.
I think she might be a little smarter than what she thinks, but
I think she might be.
she's too busy chasing simple pleasures. We'll put it.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great title for a book, actually. Chasing
Chasing
Simple
simple
Pleasures.
pleasures.
Gonna
It's all
remember that one.
feel free.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's all, it's all yours. Make it into a series if you'd like.
Alright.
There you go. Um, let's talk about Amelia and then we'll fold into the premise of the book because Amelia really does tie us into her ex-husband who ties us into Anderson.
Yeah,
So,
because it's her family.
yeah.
So Anderson Tupper, who's murdered, is from a very wealthy, one of the wealthiest families in Georgia, and Amelia was his sister-in-law. She no longer is. His older brother, who is the diligent, hardworking brother who runs the company, and is also a diligent a-hole. He divorced Amelia, and through financial ties, she and Anderson are connected in trying to survive together, sort of the onslaught from his brother. And so that brings up a lot of the financial misdeeds that may have something to do with everything that's going on.
Now, I didn't forget about Birdie. Birdie,
Birdie,
yeah,
my
Birdie's
favorite character.
your favorite character. Birdie's also married to a crucial character in this book as
Hmm.
well. Tell us a
Yeah.
little bit about Birdie.
Birdie is fun because she's just that horrible kind of queen bee who says whatever she wants, and does not care what anyone thinks, which I love. It was so much fun to write her. And she is married to another lawyer, Vanita being a lawyer. She's married to a lawyer who represents Anderson's brother. And maybe there's some financial misdeeds going on there, and maybe her husband's looking for a way out of all this too. So he's trying to get away from his wife, possibly. Like,
Which
because you'd want to, I think.
yeah, yeah, which makes again, you've got this dynamic at play between Chatham, who's Amelia's ex-husband, Chatham Tupper, and Birdie's husband, the lawyer, and you've got other dynamics at play here that are absolutely wonderful, right? And yet there's another dynamic here where Sutton is actually looking up to Birdie, and again, that little thing I told you about where Sutton may be smarter than what we think.
Mm,
She's actually, I think, aspiring to be another Birdie, but she may, whether she can actually get to that level is a whole other
mm,
thing.
not sure.
She's aspiring, right? And it's kind of like we'll use the birdie analogy. It's like having a little baby bird that wants to be an eagle, but is really just a finch. But
True
it has
that.
the spirit of an eagle. So as long as it thinks it's an eagle, well, maybe it aspire to be an eagle, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
no, Sutton definitely looks up to Birdie and knows that there's some sort of not only, social connection there, but maybe a little protection for her, maybe a little guidance through these rough waters, perilous waters of Buckhead. So and also to Birdie's credit, I think she kind of looks after Sutton. So and I don't think there's any ulterior motive to it. I think she just does.
yeah, yeah. So we've got all our players in place. Tell us a little bit about how Anderson Tupper ends up cold
Hmm. I
and
don't
and
know.
and
Hmm.
eventually 6 feet under. I mean, the actual I mean, without spoiling anything, but
Where
the
and why?
circumstances of where and why and how in the first 40 pages of the book we
Yeah.
find out that he's there.
He is dead, beaten to death in the dugout of a little league field where he was a volunteer baseball coach. And was it a robbery? Was it premeditated? Why was he there at night? And why would someone want to kill him? And he was from this big family in Georgia. Not the favored son, not the hardworking son, the dilettante of the family,
Mhm.
and very well liked. But I think you pretty quickly realize he can't be as perfect as he seemed.
Now, without spoiling too much here, is it safe to say that what Anderson did for a living?
He's a financial advisor. He
Okay.
took people's money and invested it. Whether he did that well becomes becomes a question. Um,
Okay.
Probably not. So yeah, and he's just trying to survive. His brother's going to be selling the company, and that's going to have a huge impact on his life and his livelihood, because what he does for a living maybe is not paying the bills.
So that gives a little bit of motive there and
Mm,
maybe mismanaging some funds. So there may be
hmm
people out there who are looking to maybe get even with him there.
And also holding up the sale of this company, and his brother is not happy about that.
Okay, so there's some motive there. Um, there's motives all the way around for people that want to get back at Anderson.
Yeah,
Um, so there's little strings everywhere of people who might want to get at him and get to him. Um,
hmm
I'm trying to figure out a way to do this without putting it out there, Leigh. Um, all the while, everyone is, especially the quote unquote. First of all, I want you to explain. I want to go off on a side term here because I find it incredibly funny. What is a Buckhead Betty?
A Buckhead Betty is a real thing. It's what they're called in Atlanta. They're basically the Karens of Atlanta, rich, entitled, bitchy women. And here in Atlanta, they call them Buckhead Betties. And you almost, if you live in Buckhead and you have blonde hair and you have more than a dime, you'll be called a Buckhead Betty, kind of thing. But yeah, it's a real thing here at least, and they're everywhere. I don't know what they're called other places, but I'm sure Beverly Hills has them too.
Oh my gosh, that's too funny. So everyone that we've talked about here assumes that they're a suspect in one way or another because they've had some sort of dealings or they're being called in by our detective,
Yeah,
and yet they know deep down in their heart whether they've done it or not.
right.
So why this is going to seem like a dumb question here, Leigh. I know
Okay.
this thing supposedly is a dumb question.
I
If they know that they haven't done it, yet they're being called in and asked about it, why would they assume guilt?
just think that's the kind of people they are. They're if you live in Buckhead, you're always kind of under this microscope and you're used to living that way. I wonder, there were some people like Birdie, who may be may be guilty, she
Mhm.
would kind of want you to think she was guilty. I mean, she is that type of person. So yeah, I mean, we have to kind of follow it through Shay's eyes. But of course, everybody's going to go in and say, "I'm innocent." Of course, I'm innocent. Well, that's ridiculous. But obviously, somebody's not innocent.
I'll tell you this much again, folks, without blowing the main suspects here in the book, there are probably a good solid 3 to 4 suspects in this book that will keep you wondering all the way up until the end. Well, of course it's got to be that person. Of course it's got to be that person. When you start to read the circumstances in the book, you're going, well, it's got to be this person. I mean, you know, you've thrown out all the clues. It's like throwing a hand of cards. Well, I've got this hand. Of course, I got to play this hand. This is the obvious hand. But then things start to unfurl in front of you, right? You go, well, wait a minute.
I mean,
But
I always wonder, sort of like, if someone gets murdered, and
mhm.
you didn't do it, but could you make a case that maybe you did it? Like, could
Right.
someone look at you and make a case for it? And I think, like, sometimes, like, you can. Somebody could make a case for that. That hopefully in the end works out that no, obviously I didn't. I'm not a murderer. But God, would somebody think I did? Right.
But there honestly is a case for everyone in this book to have done it, which is
Yes, they all have very complicated lives.
yeah.
And then, I mean, it's funny that the book opens on the scene that happened in real life, which is at a little league baseball game that I was at. My son was playing in, when he was 10 years old, roughly, in Buckhead, and a mother on another team called one of our boys on the field, screamed it out in front of everybody, called him an a-hole, a 10-year-old boy. And
What?
they did, loudly. And writers are weird. We're so weird. And I remember sitting there thinking, well, if she can do that, could she, like, kill somebody? You know, like, could I kill her? Kind of thing. Because I wanted to for a minute, Um, so it's sort of that thing that you don't know people. You have no idea. You have no idea what they're like. And on the nice flip side, maybe she was having a horrible day. Maybe her cat just died. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I writers are weird. We probably look at, like, Tim, could you do it? I'm like, I don't know.
Uh, I maybe when I was younger, I've come close to
Uh, I've
now in
thought
my old
about it.
age. Yeah,
So,
now in my old age, I just think I'm too sore and too mellow. You know?
poisoned him.
Oh yes, poison always works. That's right. Um, yeah, well, as far as I've seen some parents too in my day. I used to umpire baseball when I was younger.
Oh boy, I bet you heard it.
Boy, I heard it. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I umpired for a couple of years and there's just never, but back when I umpired, parents were a little more mellow. I couldn't do it these days.
Oh, I hear such horrible things. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously saw it too, but and that's been a while now, and I heard it's even worse. I mean, there were stories of, like, coaches slashing people's tires because the husband was having an affair with somebody else. It was like Peyton Place, or I don't know what, on Little League Baseball. Like, but yeah, people are just out of control.
I have a nephew that plays hockey and
Mm.
there's some referees that boy, they either blatantly miss calls or they're just not that good. And I wouldn't want to be a referee these days because
No.
they have to send out notices to parents, and there are some leagues that tell parents you cannot address a referee or you will be banned from watching your
Wow.
from the rest of the season.
Wow.
You
I
know,
mean, it's little league, or it's Pee Wee football, or I mean, these are kids. Even if it's high school football, I mean, just come on, people. How many of these kids are going to go on to be pros?
yeah,
Like, what
exactly.
percentage? This is just like
Right,
fun and games.
right,
Like, so
right. Yeah, and
it
you're right.
is.
They're not. I think the percentage is something like what 1% or something like that, or
Maybe,
2%
yeah,
are going to go on to actually do anything in professional sports. So
Yeah.
yeah, the fact of the matter is even college sports. If you want to go for college sports, it's something like 5% or something like
Okay.
go on to do something in
Go on.
a major college sport. So um, the fact of the matter is you know just relax, right? Let the
Just
kids,
relax.
yeah, let the kids have fun.
Not that way anymore, evidently.
Right. So you just have to, just hope that your kid gets through it safe and uninjured and that they come out and that they've had a good time and you go out and have pizza
Yeah.
afterwards and pat them on the head and
Heaven forbid they should have fun.
right,
Like,
right, right. And that's supposed to be the name of the game, right?
yeah,
And,
not anymore.
and to teach them sportsmanship, right? You know,
Even harder.
yeah, shake the kid's hand on the other side
I mean,
and
if the parents aren't doing it, how are the kids expected to do it?
right, right. And like you said, it's just a game. When it's all said and
Yeah,
done,
just a
nobody,
game.
it doesn't change our world outlook at the end of things.
Mm-mm.
Should. I mean, if we all got along at the end of it, it would change it.
Right. Show some good things.
Right, right. But
Yeah.
yeah, it becomes very divisive. I think maybe you've written a book for world outlook here, Leigh.
Yes. Well, I did try to make a few points.
You go, yeah, I think you have. I think you have. I know this much. It is a darn good book at that. And
Thanks, Tim.
when I got done reading it, boy, was I shocked.
Yay! I did my job.
Yeah, I got done reading it and I went, "Are you kidding me?" And the ending, I'll tell you this much: the ending, you just kind of sigh and go, "Yeah, that's the way it should have ended."
Good. I'm glad you felt that way. I kind of wondered if some people would be like, "What? That's terrible."
No,
But I kind of think that's what I would do. I don't know. Um,
without people knowing, and they shouldn't until they read it. It's one of those things where you go, you know what? Morally, I'm behind it.
good.
Morally, I'm behind it.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. So it's again, folks, it's one of those things where you got to pick it up. It's from Crooked Lane Books. It's called Bless Your Heart, a thriller. And again, you gotta pick it up, read it, and see
Mm.
for yourself. There's a huge morality play behind it because the people behind it, the characters behind it, maybe they're not dealing with a full set of what your morals may be. Maybe it's again, morals are fluid here. But in the end, I think we land just where we need to,
Okay.
with the morality play. So
Well said.
yeah, it's it's got lots of hilarious parts in it. I think you'll like. It's got good social commentary in it. It's a wonderful book. So Leigh, I tip my cap to you.
Thank you. I appreciate it so much.
Yeah, it's a very good book. And folks, I encourage you to go get it. There's a link in the description of this program. It's called Bless Your Heart, a thriller. So Leigh Dunlap, I want to thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Folks, I think it's been pretty light already, but we'll lighten it up even more. It's time now to talk about Florida Man and throw cheeseburgers at each other. It's time now for Dumb Crimes and Stupid Criminals with Jessica Freeberg.
It's Crayon News story time.
What happened with this dude, Christ Bearer? I heard he cut his penis off and then jumped off a balcony.
Suspect pulls gun from butt, shoots twice at Denver police.
What is your emergency?
I need help.
And what's the problem?
I'm too high.
You're too high?
Yeah.
It's that time. The time is all we're looking forward to. It's time now for Dumb Crimes and Stupid Criminals. And with that, we require a co-hostess. So it's really simple. What I did is I flipped a coin. No, I didn't flip a coin. Of course, I didn't flip a coin. I looked for the most skilled, the most obviously skilled, the one who I know will bring the funny, the one who is intelligent, witty, and of course has written multiple books. In fact, she's written so many books, they release them all at one time. Why? To dazzle your senses, to tickle your mind with brilliance, to make you wonder why there's so much paranormal phenomena going on at one time, and to, of course, make all the chart makers out there go, I I can't handle it. Why all this brilliance at one time? Ladies and gentlemen, here she is, Jessica Freeberg. Jess, how you doing?
Hey, I'm super.
I really got to have a talk with your publisher.
I know. I know.
I just love.
I don't know. I don't know, Tim. I'm just along for the ride.
I just love giving you crap about that. Four books at one time thing.
I know. What do you do? Well, this will be the only time that happens because we're never writing 4 books in 1 year again. So that was a little much.
Well, when the publisher goes, well, if you just give us 4 books, we'll release them all at the same time.
Yeah.
Kind of like, what?
We'll have 3 at the same time next year, but not 4. I know, Tim.
You got to give me their number so I can have a serious talk on it. There's a thing called staggering, just.
I know. I told you before, I think it's because they're regional. It's Monsters of the Pacific Northwest and Monsters of the South.
Do they know you do a show that goes worldwide?
I know. I tell them, and Natalie and I are just like, we just want to get all the monster books done. So we're like, we don't even care. We're just like racing to the finish line because we want to set. Like, that's going to be the most exciting day of my life, other than my children being born, when I have a full set of monster books and I'll be like, ta-da! You can buy them all.
And then they're going to re-release them all as one set, and they'll do it like one time in a year.
One time. Yep.
You're like,
Just buy them whenever you want, folks. It doesn't matter.
Here's your set of 50.
Buy them if you want them.
Oh, I mean, of course, but
Or don't. That's fine too.
No. It's not fine if they don't buy them. We want them to buy them, but
My husband told me he bought one, and I was like, "What are you doing? I have like 20 free copies here." And he's like, "Because they give us copies for promotion." And I'm like, "If you want one, you can have one. They're on my bookshelf." And he's like, "No, I just wanted to buy one and have it sent to me in the mail."
that's good. Don't discourage him. Let him buy one.
Well, thanks for the support, honey.
There you go. Thank you, honey. Thank you for buying one.
That's right.
Appreciate it. There you go. Thank you, Mr. Freeberg. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Now, if my mom could just buy them, she just always shows up and she's like, "Where's my books?"
What? I'm just shaking.
No, I think she figures she gave birth to me. She gets a free one. I'm like,
Wow.
"Okay, Mom, you're right. Here you go."
See, I make my mom pay for the podcast. I'm like, here, you can just drop money in my PayPal for that.
Yeah.
He doesn't even know.
You can't listen unless you pay.
Yeah, you can't listen unless you pay. I've just had it. Here, you gotta pay for it.
Oh man.
She made me pay for a play this weekend, so I'm gonna make her.
She did? What play did you go to?
No, we're going to one on August 20th.
Oh, okay.
She snookered me. She was like,
It's her birthday gift?
I almost don't want to talk about it.
Well, then don't talk about it. This is a fun zone.
She was like, my cousin sent me $50 to go to a play. You need to take me to a play.
Oh, so it is a birthday gift, but from a cousin.
Yeah, for her, but then I have to pay an
Right.
additional
I know.
100 and some bucks to take her to a play. Plus parking.
Are you going to the Guthrie, or you're going someplace fancy if you're paying that much?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Thanks.
Put on your fancy pants and a big smile.
And there's got to be dinner before. And other shit.
Of course. Take your mama on a date. She deserves it. Your mama's the best.
Mm-hmm.
Look at how good you turned out. She did such a good job.
No one's taking me anywhere for my birthday.
Oh, I don't believe it.
No, where I'm
Intern
going.
Yoko will. I know she will.
Where I'm going for my birthday, Jess.
Where?
Right here doing shows. That's where I'm going for my birthday.
Well, I'll see you there.
Yeah, you'll see me here. Yeah.
We'll celebrate together.
Happy birthday to me. You're getting new shows for my birthday. That's what you're getting, kids. Anyway, let's get to this show. Dumb crime, stupid criminals, folks. Boy, we got lots and lots and lots to get to. So let's get to it, shall we? Let's start it out in New Ipswich, which to me sounds like a sandwich. We're actually going to Manchester, New Hampshire.
Ooh,
I just
I like
imagine
it.
that there's New Hampshire in New Hampshire, but they don't.
Of course they do.
To me, it sounds like a Jersey accent. I can't do a New Hampshire accent to save my life.
I don't really have accents. Mine all come out like a, I don't know, a leprechaun. I'm always an Irish leprechaun or something.
You're like,
I
Tulio,
try.
Tulio, Tulio, Dooley. This is a New Hampshire accent, I tell you. Pretty much, yeah.
Basically, yes, you nailed it. That's me.
All right. A Greenville man is indicted for allegedly robbing the same TD Bank in New Ipswich in 2014. He's what we call a repeat offender, 11 years apart.
Wow. Pick a different bank, dude.
Yeah, right. I mean, there's so many of them out there. You just, We go to Manchester, New Hampshire, where a Greenville man is facing up to 20 years in prison after being indicted on a bank robbery charge, according to prosecutors. The New Hampshire U.S. Attorney's Office said 54-year-old Eric Lord was indicted on Wednesday. Prosecutors said Lord was arrested in April after robbing a TD Bank in New Ipswich. According to court documents, Lord walked to the counter, dropped a note that said, 8,030 seconds or I shoot you where you stand. Remember when you did that 11 years ago, dude? Yeah, you got caught doing it again.
So aggressive.
It really is. Court documents said Lord took more than 8,000 in cash. An officer was able to identify the person in the surveillance video as Lord, according to court documents. The New Hampshire U.S. Attorney's Office said at the time Lord was on federal supervised release in connection with robbing the same bank in 2014. Because that's what he did last time. Prosecutors said Lord will appear in federal court at a later date on that case. So, dude, get a new target. Our next story is a weird one. All these stories are weird ones, but this one's especially weird. Guess where we're going for this one, Jess?
Florida.
You got it.
Yay.
The capital of weirdness. A doctor smothered his wife with a pillow and then blamed the family dog for injuries that he suffered as she fought for her life.
Wow. Blaming the dog.
It's a special day for this guy.
That ain't cool. You can blame a dog for a fart, but you can't blame a dog for a murder.
Right? Here's the guy who had the audacity to blame the dog for the injuries. He
gosh.
kind of looks like he's out to lunch, doesn't he?
A little bit. Looks like he's had a bad day, that's for sure.
He does, doesn't he? He has that Merle Haggard harumph look to him. A Florida doctor is headed to prison after he murdered his wife by suffocating her with a pillow, and then he claimed the injuries he suffered during the attack were from playing with the family dog. He's a doctor, by the way. That guy.
No way. That dude was a doctor?
A doctor. There's no way I'm going to him for anything. I wouldn't.
No.
I wouldn't go to him to be euthanized. 72-year-old Dr. Thomas Wenzel pleaded no contest to second-degree murder in the death of Linda Wenzel at their home in Windermere, a wealthy Orlando suburb. On Tuesday, a judge sentenced the disgraced doctor to 12 years in prison. Cops responded to the home on December 2nd and found Linda Wenzel dead in the master bedroom, lying on her back. Detectives deemed her husband's statements inconsistent with their initial findings, a probable cause arrest affidavit said. They also noted that he had head cuts, bruises, and abrasions on his face, neck, and arms. By the way, he said the dog did that too. Yeah.
Do they have a Rottweiler?
Yeah.
Probably a Chihuahua.
Probably a teacup dog. Asked to elaborate on the injuries, Thomas Wenzel claimed they came from playing with the family dog. Officers did not arrest him at that point, or the dog for that matter. However, 3 days later, cops responded to Thomas Wenzel's office for a report of suicidal threats. According to the court document, and officers took him to the police station for an interview. After being read his Miranda rights, Thomas Wenzel admitted to killing his wife by suffocating her with a pillow. So guess where the injuries came from? Probably
Some
his
hands trying to defend themselves.
his wife
Yeah,
fighting
that's
for her life.
sad.
Yeah. He stated that he and his wife were the only people inside the home at the time and that he spontaneously reacted to an argument that had ensued during the fight. The affidavit said, or during the night, rather, not the fight. I said the fight. That's just me telling the truth. Thomas Wenzel was taken into custody and has been at the Orange County Jail ever since. Neighbors at the time of the murder said the couple was known to fight. That's the truth. It's a very quiet community, one neighbor told the local ABC affiliate, WFTV. The only arguments I've ever heard have come out of that house. So, Dr. Wenzel, now in jail. Our next story, Jess, again, has to do with a Mother of the Year. And I believe are we staying in Florida for this one? No, I think we're going out east for this one. If I showed you just a picture of this house right here, would you say to yourself, you know what? That looks like a fine, upstanding young family.
Oh, wow. Looks like it's falling apart.
It kind of is.
Like it'd been in a hurricane or something.
It kind of looks like that. But no, that's all right. So it's just your average Westmoreland County home, but with a twist. The mother in this home, Jess, decided that she was just going to abandon her kids in the home that and just run away and go have a fun time and leave them behind and go hang out with her boyfriend.
Oh, that's sad.
And by the way, the grandma thought it was too gross to go check in on the children.
Oh, I mean, I kind of don't blame her. It's pretty gross.
So they just left the kids there. It's kind of a weird story. The quote is, "Better life without them. Mom abandoned kids in a home too gross for grandma to check on the children. She just decided she was going to go have a better life." A mother and grandmother in rural Pennsylvania are accused of leaving the children they were supposed to care for in extremely unsafe conditions. Have you ever just thought about leaving your kids behind and going and having a better life? Just
No, never. And my kids are kind of gross, my son especially.
maybe thought about it, but never did it. I mean, have you ever thought, I'm just going to leave them in this
No.
messy room and then go live
No,
somewhere else?
no, not even thought about it. I would take them anywhere I went, but
Okay. 35-year-old Heidi Lynn Beer and 69-year-old Leslie Ann Keller both stand charged with 5 felony counts of endangering the welfare of children as parent or guardian. Beer also faces 5 misdemeanor counts of recklessly endangering another person and 1 count of making a false report. The women were both arrested on July 28th after Vandergrift Borough Police in Westmoreland County arrived at the home due to a report of a fight. Well, this should be good. But they apparently ended up finding much more. There was a noticeable smell coming from the property, and once inside, officers had to avoid stepping on large feces droppings all over the residence. Rotten food and pulled up on the floors.
no.
Yeah, well,
How old were these kids?
it had to be a Lord of the Flies situation. I know that much. We'll get to that. It's coming up here in just a second. This is according to the criminal complaint reviewed by Pittsburgh ABC affiliate WTAE. To answer your question, Jess, 4 children between the ages of 9 and 16 were said to have been inside. Well, now, if there was a 16-year-old there, they're old enough to clean up.
True. But if that's what their home looks like, they were probably never properly taught how to not be disgusting.
Okay.
Like that's what they're accustomed to. They're like, "Oh, this is just normal life."
So mom was a pig, so they are too. Is that what you're
I think
saying?
so, yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas I go up in my son's room and I'm like, "There's no excuse for this. No one raised you to be disgusting," but
True. Yeah.
he is.
The oldest told police that their mother, Beer, had not been home in days.
That's sad.
Yeah. So it only took them days to start shitting and pissing on the floor.
Yeah, like which one of them is pooping on the floor if they're 9 to 16? There's
Right.
no reason for that. I could see if there was like a toddler.
So that means a 9-year-old just dropped trow and decided to leave a Cleveland steamer right there in the living room. I mean,
Yikes.
who was using the bathroom for that long that you couldn't at least take it outside? Right?
Yeah. Just dig a hole in the back.
Yeah. The children reportedly had no water and the shower spigot was broken off. What kind of Lord of the Flies situation is going on that they broke the shower?
But not even running water.
Yeah. It was very obvious that water had not been on in a long time, the affidavit stated, adding that the children's beds were observed to be deflated air mattresses and that there were holes in the ceiling across the home. What, did she just lock them up in the house and go, anarchy rules? Whoever's got the most strength rules the kingdom.
Wow.
Beer was not the children's only guardian, according to authorities, reporting that their grandmother, Keller, lived about a mile away and was aware of the lack of food and water at the kids' home. Literally the kids' home, evidently. One of the children said Keller had not gone inside the home in months because it was too gross. And she allegedly confirmed that the kids would fill up empty cat litter containers with water at her house because there was no water at theirs.
Cat litter containers.
Yeah, cat litter containers.
Not even like ice cream buckets or something.
No,
like
no.
freaking cat litter containers.
Yeah. When she tried to chastise a 16-year-old girl for not cleaning up, a responding officer scolded the older woman, telling her it was not the children's responsibility to clean this absolute disgrace of a mess.
Good for him. I agree.
But that was the 16-year-old girl telling the cop that.
Oh, I thought the cop said that to the girl.
No,
Oh,
the responding officer scolded the older woman. Wait, did I read this right? When she tried
I
to
think
chastise the 16-year-old girl for not cleaning up, a responding officer scolded the older woman, telling her it was not the children's responsibility. Oh, so she was scolding the older woman, telling her it wasn't the kid's responsibility to clean up the mess. Oh, okay. So the cop was telling the older woman, it's not the kid's responsibility. Get over there and clean it. Okay.
Yeah. Be the adult. I mean, even if they're 16, they're still kids.
Okay. So I was misunderstanding how that went. Okay. Police reportedly learned Beer had been staying with her boyfriend in Pittsburgh, about a 50-mile drive away, and that he had asked her to leave them behind because he could give her a new and better life without them. He was also allegedly abusive to the children.
What a jerk.
Yeah. Beer is being held in the Westmoreland County Prison on a $20,000 bond. She has a preliminary court hearing scheduled for today.
Well, sadly, those kids probably will have a better life.
Yeah.
Without their mom, if this is the situation they live in.
With who? Because grandma doesn't want to clean the place.
Well, they'd probably be better off in like, I don't
Foster care?
know, foster care or something. I would take them in.
But they're going to bust up your house.
Just put them in Logan's room. It's already dirty.
Well, that's true. You might want to put a cage surrounding the room so that they don't bust up the rest of your house. But Keller has a preliminary hearing scheduled for September 9th. It's unclear if she's being held in jail. She probably should be. The children are reportedly in the care of other family members. Dear God. Ugh. Just a mess. You thought that was messy, Jess? Okay, so we've all ridden on a plane where at one point or another, you might have wanted to slap somebody to get control back.
Just let me fly. Dang it.
Yep, whack. Somebody might have needed a good slap. Maybe someone who was being obnoxious. Maybe, you just wanted to give them a good slap and just say, let's get this under control and let's fly this plane, right? Well, this person got slapped for no good reason. But the plane passenger, well, the person doing the slapping, they got a lesson out of this deal. Let me explain. A plane passenger was blasted for slapping a man amid a panic attack. That's right. This poor person was having a panic attack, and a plane passenger went up and slapped him.
Snap out of it. Whack.
Yeah, slap out of it. Bang. And he was told you shouldn't have raised your hand. Now, both fight and flight responses are at play here. An airplane passenger has been shamed online after slapping a fellow flyer who was experiencing a panic attack on an Indigo flight, as seen in a shocking viral footage. The sky-high smackdown occurred Friday during an Indigo flight from Mumbai to Kolkata, India, according to Jam Press. The victim, identified as Hossein Ahmed Mazumdar, is seen looking visibly distressed as crew members escort him down the aisle, according to India Today. Then all of a sudden, a seated passenger, male passenger in glasses, slaps the fellow traveler in the face, prompting other flyers to chastise him over the insensitive action. We all have problems, one could be heard saying, but you shouldn't have raised your hand. The camera person also laid into the assailant. You don't have the right to hit anybody. Do you understand? They declared. He's having a panic attack. Just give him some water. It's probably a more humane solution. Just give him some water.
Give him some water. Hug.
Yeah, fan him with a magazine. I mean,
Yeah. Rub his shoulders. Tell him everything's going to be okay.
right. Yeah. Would you like a Xanax? I mean,
Shot of whiskey.
Shot of whiskey. Yeah. There's a drink cart coming, and can I get you anything?
Distract him and be like, look, my boobs. That means his panic attack is over.
So that settled me down, right? Following the onboard assault, Mazumdar said his entire head hurt really bad. Well, yeah, you just got the shit smacked out of you. It probably would. The slap-happy passenger was subsequently removed from the aircraft and reported to police before being placed on Indigo's no-fly list. He's not going anywhere anytime soon. At Indigo, the safety and well-being of our customers and crew remain our foremost priority, an airline spokesperson said. He also said, we don't agree with bitch slapping. No. Following due diligence, the incident involving an unruly customer has been formally reported to the relevant authorities for necessary action. They added, in line with our commitment to discourage such unruly behavior on board flights, the individual has been suspended from flying any Indigo flights in accordance with regulatory provisions. Mazumdar reportedly vanished following the incident before he was located a day later at a railway station in Barpeta, Assam, around 500 miles from Kolkata. So he got away. Like
like, I'm out of here.
Probably bitch slapping the entire way, getting people out of his way. Whack, 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 whack. See?
A bunch of red cheeks everywhere he goes.
Red cheeks. He could follow the trail of red cheeks all the way to the train station. Police subsequently confirmed that he had taken the train to Barpeta instead, and when last reported was en route to Silchar, where he was planning on slapping his way all the way to, I don't know, Pakistan. Who knows? All right. It's time now for our not safe for work category here on the program. I know, so soon, Jess? So soon?
We're already there?
Already there. Well, a lot of nude, lewd, and crude this week, so we got to take that. So with that, if you're at the office, get your boss out of the room. Maybe take them for donuts or whatever. If your kids are in the room, maybe get them out of the room. Take them for some Pop-Tarts or whatever. No, don't pop them like in the last story, but take them for some Pop-Tarts or whatever. We'll get to not safe for work in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. I believe it was Tony who wanted to keep going with the airplane theme. An EasyJet pilot is suspended after a drunken naked incident. Here we go. Of course, we're on a plane. Of course, we're getting drunk and naked. Why not? But this time, it's the captain. EasyJet I've never flown EasyJet. Have you flown EasyJet, by the way, Jess?
No, I have not.
Evidently, EasyJet just means everyone's easy and they're getting naked. EasyJet has suspended one of its captains after he was reportedly seen roaming a luxury hotel drunk and naked. Oh, it wasn't on the plane. It was a hotel.
Oh.
Well, what you do in your own time, I guess, huh? The unnamed pilot was witnessed walking through common areas of a 5-star resort in Cape Verde without any clothes in the early hours of the morning on the 5th of August after an extended drinking session in a bar, according to the song. Well, he's had a few and just decided he couldn't find his room. Maybe he was
And
locked.
it's hot.
It is hot in Cape Verde, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe he forgot his key.
Maybe his key was in his pants pocket. Mm.
Which was in somebody else's room, evidently. He was due to operate a return flight to Gatwick more than 36 hours later and was grounded after the budget airline received complaints about the incident and a replacement pilot was found. Really, it just takes being naked in the hallway of a hotel to get you a new pilot? That's it?
I guess.
Huh. And EasyJet
Can't do that.
No, can't be naked in the hallway if you're a pilot. An EasyJet spokesman told the BBC the pilot now faces an investigation and that the safety of passengers and crew was its highest priority. The captain arrived at the Ameliatupper Beach Resort and Spa in the West African island nation on the 4th of August and proceeded to begin drinking, the Sun reported. At around 2:30 local time, or 4:30 BST, the following morning, hotel guests reportedly saw him strip off and wander into the reception before moving on to the gym and spa. Well, he wanted to get a naked drunk workout, evidently. I mean, that's very popular among pilots, I guess. The pilot did not have a stitch on and reeked of alcohol. An anonymous source inside the airline was quoted by the paper as saying, anyone who saw the pilot cavorting naked in the early hours on the day before a flight would not dream of getting on a plane with him at the controls. Well, unless you're an adventurer, then why not?
Why not?
Why not? He was scheduled to helm the 2,332 nautical mile trip back to Gatwick on the afternoon of August 6th, but was removed from the flight. An EasyJet spokesman said, as soon as we were made aware, the pilot was immediately stood down from duty in line with our procedures pending an investigation. The safety of our passengers and crew is EasyJet's highest priority. The airline's code of business ethics states that the staff must behave with integrity when dealing with our people, our customers, our partners, and the communities within which we operate. Okay, so wait a minute. He's drunk at around 02:30 local time on August 5th. And he's taking off on August 6th.
Ooh.
Was it the naked part that was the problem?
I don't think so. I think it's because he was intoxicated, like probably legally still drunk.
So you can't be intoxicated how many hours before a flight?
There are rules about that. I don't know what they are for sure, but my father-in-law used to be a pilot, and I know he's talked about that before. Like you can't have alcohol so many hours before.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So I think you can be nude all you want, pilots. You're safe. You just can't be crunk, as the kids say.
Oh, strip down and run through the hallways of the hotel as long as you don't have anything in your system. And go get a good workout.
That's right.
That's important. Make sure you're physically fit to fly that plane. And remember, if you're naked and working out in the hotel gym, make sure you wipe down the equipment afterwards.
Please, yes, and thank you.
We don't want any of that ass juice on the
Especially if you rode the bike.
Yeah, on the machines. So please
Oh.
wipe it down. Appreciate it. Thank you, the management, as they say on the memorandum. All right, next story. A senior Winnipeg police officer is accused of drug trafficking and taking intimate pictures of dead people.
Wait, intimate pictures of dead people?
Intimate pictures of dead people, Jess, because this guy is a fine, upstanding old person. Doesn't he look like he might be a tad bit freaky?
Yeah, he looks like Fireman Bob. Was that his name? Jim Carrey's
Oh,
character from
Fire
In
Marshal
Living
Bill.
Color?
Fire Marshal.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah. He does look like Fire Marshal Bill. What is his name? Deputy Chief Cam Mackid or McKid. Mackid. Yeah, he does look like Fire Marshal Bill. This veteran
He
officer.
does, right?
Yeah. Veteran officer initially arrested in November now faces a long list of charges after a 16-month investigation. Veteran Winnipeg officer who was charged with several offenses late last year is now facing more charges after a 16-month-long police investigation. Alleges he trafficked illegal drugs, distributed a photo of a dead female, and disclosed confidential information. Okay, time out. In what circles do you run that you go, hey, want to see a picture of a dead naked female?
Yeah. If I texted that to you, you'd be like, unfriend and block.
Unfriend and block. And use a freaky girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. I might say that before I unfriended and blocked. I'd be like, use a
Yeah.
freaky girl. Yeah.
Just let me know that I'm weird and then never speak to me again.
Yeah. Constable Elston Bostock, a 22-year member of the Winnipeg Police Service, was charged on Wednesday with criminal offenses that include committing indignity to human remains, trafficking of a controlled substance, obstruction of justice, and knowingly distributing an intimate image. These are very serious allegations. Oh, shit, Sherlock. Which go directly against the values of the Winnipeg Police Service. I would hope so. Tarnishing our reputation and eroding the public's confidence with our service, Chief Gene Bowers told reporters at a news conference on Thursday. They say they also take this very seriously, and I guess we take it personally, he said. It's a very sad day for the service, and I guess we take it personally.
I guess so.
He guesses. I would hope you do.
Yes, please.
I cracked my jaw on that. I was so overwhelmed. The charges against Bostock stem from an investigation triggered after other members of the force reported concerns regarding breach of trust in early 2024. Bostock and two other officers were arrested in November and charged with offenses, including breach of trust. Bostock was also charged at that point with theft under $5,000, unlawfully being in a dwelling, and obstruction of a police officer. He was released on an undertaking, and police continued their investigation with a warrant to search Bostock's phone and abuse. That investigation found five new incidents, and led to 10 more charges, according to Deputy Chief Cam Mackid. This is not a proud moment for our service, he said. Boy, that's an understatement.
No kidding.
Yeah. By the way, the charges laid against Bostock on Wednesday relate to incidents both on and off duty over a period of time stretching back to 2016. Bostock conducted about 84 illicit drug transactions between 2016 and 2024. The drugs trafficked include cocaine, oxycodone, and methamphetamine. He was a busy boy.
Yeah, he's just an absolute wreck.
Yeah. Police allege that he used his cell phone to take an intimate photo of a dead female who was partially clothed and later distributed the image to another officer. Chief Bauer said he met with the family of the woman to offer apologies and express the service's dismay at the allegations against Bostock. In addition, Bostock is accused of obstructing justice by attempting to get traffic tickets issued to other people voided between 2016 and 2024. So the dead girl, not the worst thing that happened. It was getting tickets voided. That's the worst thing that's happened here, Jess.
I don't know about that, but
Yeah, but the ticket voiding thing, that's the black eye.
that's what pushed it over the edge.
Yeah. He's also accused of accessing confidential police information on November 2nd of last year and giving it to unauthorized people. Mackid said the information was provided to members of the public, and there's no criminal aspect to them receiving it, but he declined to comment on why it was shared. Boy, he's just in a whole bunch of trouble. There's that story. All right. Now, we had told you earlier this year about a lottery winner in Florida who was in big time trouble. He's an ex-con, but he won $167.3 million, proving that the best in life don't necessarily get the best in life. It's
Right.
always the criminals, Jess, that end up winning in the end, right? A day after claiming $167.3 million Powerball jackpot, Jim Farthing was at the lobby bar of a Florida resort bragging about his financial windfall, saying, I'm a millionaire, I'm a millionaire. Asshole. Wearing only a pair of shorts and sneakers, the heavily tattooed 50-year-old Farthing was apparently not pleased when a skeptical patron challenged the Kentucky man's story. Gee, a Kentucky guy at the bar in Florida bragging about being a millionaire, and he's an ex-con. He was claiming all these lottery winnings. A 48-year-old Idaho resident by the name of Kevin Rushing told police. Rushing, who was vacationing at the Tradewinds Resort in St. Pete Beach, added that he told Farthing he was delusional. What followed was a melee that resulted in felony and misdemeanor charges being filed against Farthing, who's a career criminal and ex-con who is now one of the Bluegrass State's wealthiest men. The incident was captured on police body cam and released to the Smoking Gun in response to Open Records request. Here's the fun part of this, Jess. So when Farthing punched Rushing in the face, the men were grappling on the floor when Deputy Nicholas Ariostatico rushed in to separate the pair. As the cop was detaining Rushing, Farthing got to his feet and attempted to kick Rushing in the head. Instead, he struck the cop, Ariostatico, in the face. This is where it all breaks down. Ariostatico subsequently drew his taser and demanded that Farthing put your hands behind your back. Right the fuck now, he said, and get against the fucking wall. Now, the cops had it, right?
Yeah.
Instead, Farthing made a run for the exit, as I think most ex-cons would do. Ariostatico fired 3 taser darts, one of which struck Farthing in the back. Deputy Mike Harris then executed a flawless form tackle on Farthing, who was bloodied when his face hit the floor. You see, I have him rushing, and you walk up and you fucking kick him and you hit me in the fucking face, Ariostatico told Farthing. I'm sorry, man, replied Farthing. Ariostatico, who evidently loves to use the F word, and I'm going to repeat every F word he said, so here we go, said, save your fucking sorries for later. He also said he's fucking going to jail for kicking me in the face, describing the police confrontation with Farthing. Ariostatico told another officer, he rolled the lightning and he got taken down. So yeah, he was proud that he tased this guy. Farthing was charged in a June 25th criminal information with battery on a law enforcement officer, a felony in resisting, which is a misdemeanor. While initially charged with simple battery for punching Rushing in the jaw, that count was subsequently dropped by prosecutors. Now free on $10,500 bond, Farthing, who has spent a total of about 30 years behind bars, is scheduled for an August 11th pretrial hearing, which is yesterday, in circuit court. Now there's a picture of him, James Farthing, our millionaire ex-con, right before he was lit up by the...
Wow.
Isn't he tattooed?
Wait a second. I'm like, that's not a shirt. That's tattoos.
That's his tattoos.
He is covered. It looks like a shirt. I was like, that is the tightest shirt.
No, that's his tattoos, Jess. Doesn't he look like the tattooed man at the circus?
Dang, that's like all his money from his lottery winnings in ink.
Yeah, look at that. Huh?
That stuff's expensive.
Yeah. But that's a picture of him right before they lit him up.
Too funny.
Yeah. So that's a follow-up to his arrest.
So he's not off there living the good life, huh?
No, he's about to be sentenced. So yeah.
Who gets the money?
He still gets to keep the money.
What? Then was he going to use it in jail?
Well, you can't, but I mean,
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Maybe give it to his kid. I remember he had a kid from the last one. I remember thinking,
Well, he's got a mom too. So I think
okay.
he spent some of the
Yeah,
money
the
on.
mom was bad too. Wasn't the mom like helped him with something?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, the mom's got a criminal record too, but
donate it to Darkness Radio.
that's right. We'll keep
Help
it
the show.
keep it on a slush fund for you. We'll let it build up interest. We might use a little bit, but yeah, but strictly business. That's all.
Right.
Let's see here. Our next story has to do with being very careful about what you eat before you have an appointment. All right. The headline here is she ate a poppy seed salad and then child services took her baby.
If it's too messy.
Well, you'll find out why you don't eat a poppy seed salad. You're having a baby and a hospital drug test comes up positive, but you know the test is wrong and you can't control what happens next. Pregnant with her 5th child, Susan Horton had a lot of confidence in her parenting abilities. Then she ate a salad from Costco, an everything chopped salad kit with poppy seeds. When she went to the hospital to give birth the next day, she tested positive for opiates. Horton told doctors that it must have been the poppy seeds, but she couldn't convince them that it was true. She was reported to child welfare authorities, and a judge removed Horton's newborn from her care. They had a singular piece of evidence, Horton said, and it was wrong. Hospitals across the country routinely drug test people coming in to give birth, but the tests many hospitals use are notoriously imprecise, with false positive tests up 50% for some drugs. People taking over-the-counter cold medicine or prescribed medications can test positive for methamphetamines or opiates. It's kind of an interesting story. I tell you what, I'm going to post this in the description of the program because there's an audio story that you can listen to that takes about maybe 45 minutes to listen to. If you want to hear the rest of the story about how other people have been framed for drugs based on what they've eaten or consumed based on these tests. All right, Jess, you might have heard about this phenomena recently, and I actually found out about this phenomena because I was up at KNSI working on Saturday, and this very phenomena happened to our Minnesota Lynx.
Okay.
Now, the phenomena itself is not funny that this is happening to WNBA players, but I thought of a scenario where this could be funny if it was done to NBA players and reversed on them. I'll explain in a second.
Okay.
The WNBA says an individual who threw sex toys on the court at a dream game has been arrested. The only reason why I read this story. An individual who threw a sex toy onto the court during the Golden State Valkyries 77-75 victory over the Atlanta Dream on Tuesday at Gateway Center in College Park, Georgia, has been arrested, according to the WNBA. The incident happened in the final minute of the Tuesday contest as the Dream and Valkyries were tied at 75. The lime green object was thrown from the stands onto the court and landed near the top of the free throw line. I could say that. Shortly after Atlanta's Maya Caldwell blocked a three-point attempt from Golden State's Tiffany Hayes. Officials did not stop play as the object bounced towards the sideline. A police officer later picked up the item using a towel. Thank God they used the towel. You don't know where it's been. Days later, another sex toy was thrown onto the court during Golden State's 73-66 victory over the Chicago Sky at Wintrust Arena in Chicago on Friday. The incident happened with 7:42 remaining in the third quarter as the Sky led 39-37. Officials immediately halted play after a green object, again it's green, landed out of bounds near the basket. The object involved in the incident in Atlanta on Tuesday has been arrested. Or the subject, not the object, but the subject involved in the incident in Atlanta on Tuesday has been arrested. The WNBA said in a statement to USA Today on Saturday. A number of WNBA players have spoken out against a string of incidents. Sky Center Elizabeth Williams said it's super disrespectful, while Indiana Fever Guard Sophie Cunningham said flying objects could hurt one of us. And she's right. It could. I don't really get the point of it. It's really immature. Whoever is doing it needs to grow up, Williams said following Friday's game. New York Liberty forward Isabel Harrison added, arena security, hello, please do better. It's not funny, never was funny. Throwing anything on the court is so dangerous. The WNBA said any spectator caught throwing anything on the court will be immediately ejected and face a minimum of 1-year ban. The safety and well-being of everyone in our arenas is top priority for our league, the WNBA said. Objects of any kind thrown onto the court or in the seating area can pose a safety risk for players, game officials, and fans. In line with WNBA arena security standards, any fan who intentionally throws an object onto the court will immediately be ejected and face a minimum 1-year ban in addition to being subject to arrest and prosecution by local authorities. Now, throwing a dildo or sex toys onto a WNBA court, not fun. In fact, it happened to the Minnesota Lynx recently. Coach Cheryl Reeves went on to media and said it's the obvious sexualization of women and holding women down. I know of a scenario where it would be funny, but it involves the men, the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Why not throw a pocket pussy at LeBron James and just say, listen, you're too goddamn old for this game. Now that's fun.
Or one of those fleshlights.
Or a fleshlight. Yes. Thank you, Jess. I was going to let you say it because you were the one who researched it.
That's right.
Throw a fleshlight at Steph Curry and say, listen, you're not hitting the 3-pointers like you used to. Why don't you bury your junk in that? You wuss. Now that's funny.
It's kind of funny. Yeah.
See?
Green dildos, though, huh?
Yeah, I don't know what it is about green.
Green.
I don't know why it's got.
They're into aliens.
I have no idea. Some guys have too much time on their hands.
I think.
Yeah. All right, shall we move on?
Yes, please.
This is an unusual story from San Fernando, Jess. Firefighters rescued a woman trapped in a small chimney in San Fernando, California. Now you may say, what's not safe for work about this? I'm about to tell you.
Right.
Firefighters rescued a woman trapped in a small chimney in San Fernando on Tuesday. Air 7 Eyewitness News. Because it's their chopper. You know, they're all proud of it over there.
That's right. They should be.
I think it's practically brand new as of 30 years ago. Air 7.
Baby.
Well, Air 7 flew over the scene where several Los Angeles firefighters were working to free the woman from the chimney. It happened at a municipal building at the City of San Fernando Recreation Center on North Park Avenue. Officials say the small building is used for storage. According to the Los Angeles Fire Department, an approximately 30-year-old woman was discovered about 3 feet deep within the chimney or exhaust flue. Here's the deal, Jess. Members of the LA Fire Department's urban search and rescue team had to use a ladder to reach her and then used a harness to lift her up and out of the chimney. Video shows the crew lifting the woman out of the chimney. Over a dozen firefighters stood on the roof as they worked to free the woman. Eventually, she was lifted out and lowered to the roof, where she was strapped to a gurney and lowered to the ground using the truck ladder as a crane. Now, the woman was alert and conscious as she was loaded into an ambulance and taken away from the scene. Witness Jose Rivera said, "It's crazy. You would think it's a show that somebody put on, and the show is over, but it wasn't a show. It's reality." Witnesses say the woman was acting erratically before she got stuck. Here's the good part. "I could see a lady on top of the roof. She was pulling her shirt up and then pulling her pants down, just on the roof like dancing," said witness Israel Oliveas. I come around again and I see her hands waving out of the chimney. She's just screaming, help, help, help. We heard her screaming. I thought she was joking, but then it turned out into something serious when she started saying, I'm hurt, I need help, and I can't get out. And then people started taking her seriously, Rivera said. A witness said there was a half-empty bottle of tequila in the woman's backpack.
Shocking.
What's that?
I said shocking.
Shocking.
I'm
was
shocked she was drunk
naked and drunk and tried to fit herself in a chimney.
and twerking on a roof.
That's right. Though it's unclear if she had consumed any of the alcohol before the rescue. Anybody want to take bets?
My money's on yes, she did.
Yeah, she probably did. It's
About half the bottle.
About half the bottle. That's right, Jess. I think you probably win that bet. It's unknown how the woman became stuck in the first place. I'll tell you how. She climbed up and then climbed into the chimney. That's how she got stuck.
I mean, maybe she was twerking on the edge of the chimney and she just like lost her balance and she fell in.
I think that's probably right. Yeah.
Yeah.
LAFD said the rescue was complete at 8 p.m. And then they tried to recreate it by one of the firemen getting up there, getting naked and twerking and then falling in. And they had to rescue him. So there you go. All right. I'm going to show you a picture here real quick. If it populates here for me.
Get my glasses on.
This man doesn't want to be seen, evidently. Here we go. Look at this guy. You got a little messed up.
Dang, he had a bad day.
Now, I'm going to give you a few options here. Did this man, A, fall in the chimney with the woman who was previously mentioned in the last story? Did he, B, get into a fight with that dog who the man claimed he had a fracas with earlier in the show? Or did he, C, run into the wrong strip club janitor?
I was going to say D. He's the guy that got bitch slap on the airplane.
Okay, probably D. You're right. Probably D.
But I'm betting it was C.
Yeah, I think you're right, Jess. It was probably C, and I'll say you're right.
Yay, what do I win?
A no prize, an official no prize out of our no prize.
Yay.
Yeah. This man was hit with a broom and beaten after threatening a strip club janitor with a knife, proving the fact that you never knew who you're going to run into when you insult somebody.
Yeah, don't mess with the janitors at the strip club.
That's right, because they're
Hey,
secret
Brian.
ninja masters with a broom.
There's a black belt.
We go to Oklahoma City, where Oklahoma City police arrested a man after he allegedly tried to attack a mentally disabled strip club janitor with a knife.
Wow. And the guy was mentally disabled and even kicked his ass. That's amazing.
Not mentally disabled, handy-capable is what we like to
And
call him.
that's correct. Yes, there you go.
Handy-capable with a goddamn broom is what he was. And that guy has the injuries to prove it.
That makes the story even sweeter. I kind of love it already.
It does. According to authorities, Lawrence Kuykendall was identified on camera on August 2nd, calling the janitor at Bare Assets, which is the greatest name for a strip club ever, a racial slur, and then charging at him with a knife. And guess what? He got his ass handed to him. His bare assets handed to him. That he did. Police say the janitor hit Kuykendall with a broom and then jumped on him and started beating him. Beating the ever-loving Bare Assets to death.
He messed him up.
Yeah, he did. I bet you he wishes he wouldn't have said shit to him. I bet you.
That was a bad choice.
Yeah, I bet you he wished he would have just said, "Sir, have a great day," and walked the fuck away right there.
Thank you for your service, sir. I appreciate how clean this establishment is.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And then give him a nice tip. Just said, "Here, sir."
Yeah.
And, yeah. And just, right. But no.
Yeah, I was going to use this for the strippers, but I'm going to give it to you because it's so clean in here.
Like, you're doing a great job, sir. Here's a couple of bucks. I want to make your day, sir. Here you go.
That's right. Nope, he didn't take that approach, Tim. He got his ass kicked.
That's right. He learned how harsh of a mistress Karma really is, Jess. Kuykendall was taken to a local hospital for medical attention, which is going to cost him a hell of a lot more than that night cost him, and then booked into jail for assault and battery with a dangerous weapon and racial harassment. See, kids, there is a God, and evidently he's the bouncer at Bear Assets. And he wields a broom.
Let him have it. He deserved it.
That's a fun story, isn't it?
I loved it.
Speaking of, is there a God or not? We move on to our next story. A Catholic priest in Johnston County is arrested for soliciting a prostitute. I don't know why I'm reading it that way, but I am. I put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable, Jess.
Prostitute.
Prostitute. I'm so surprised by the story, I can't hold it back. Johnston County deputies arrested a priest from St. Anne Catholic Church in Clayton. Clemente Oliveira Guerrero is his name, and charged him with soliciting a prostitution. A prostitution. I can't even read anymore. I'm so surprised by this story.
Oh my goodness, I'm laughing so hard over here.
I was going to show you a picture of Father Guerrero, but he's busy on his knees.
Praying.
Sure. Yes, praying for salvation. That's why he's on his knee. You dirty people. Johnston County deputies arrested a Catholic priest on Monday, alleging he solicited a prostitute. 47-year-old Clemente Oliveira Guerrero of Smithfield is charged with one count of felony soliciting prostitution, according to an arrest warrant. On Monday, the Diocese of Raleigh sent a notice to its parishioners of St. Anne Catholic Church in Clayton. They said, oh, no. Father Clemente, he was just down collecting change on his knees. That's all it was.
That's it.
That poor prostitute just happened to be standing. The diocese received notice this morning of the arrest of Father Clemente Oliveira Guerrero on criminal charges connected to alleged inappropriate behavior with an adult, the notice read. Upon receiving that information, he was immediately removed from ministry in the Diocese of Raleigh. While Father Clemente deserves a full presumption of innocence until proven otherwise, his priestly duties in the Diocese of Raleigh has been revoked, and he will be returned to his religious order while this matter is further investigated by legal and canonical authorities. I wonder if does he get the whipping like the Opus Dei now? Does he have to whip himself for being a naughty boy?
I don't know. He might like it.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. And
he might pay a prostitute to whip him.
A prostitute. I was so surprised, Jess. I even picked the story, and I'm surprised. I have a prostitute.
No. My gosh.
Well, let's find out which hooker hooked the priest, shall we? Deputies say they arrested Oliveira Guerrero on church property. And the sheriff's office said the alleged crime happened on church property. They did a house call in the house of the Lord.
Oh, my.
Oh, my. The arrest warrant states that Oliveira Guerrero appeared in court on Monday afternoon. He said, this doesn't look like my house. I don't know why he has an Italian accent. They all do if they visited the Vatican. The Johnston County Sheriff's Office says Oliveira Guerrero had a $2,500 secured bond. Arrest records show a man named Peter Grace posted the bond. Maybe if Father Guerrero's Peter had more grace, he wouldn't be in a bad situation now, would he?
Peter Grace. Do you think that's a made-up name? That's not real.
I think it's a made-up name. Fuck yeah, I think it's a made-up name. Peter Grace?
No.
Come on, Jess. Peter Grace?
I'm just laughing over here too much. I can't handle this story.
It was one of either two names, Peter Grace or Dickon of Ice, and he had to pick one or the other. Peter Grace was more PG, right?
Oh, gosh.
A Facebook post from October 2024 shows a Peter Grace was then the pastor at St. Anne Catholic Church. It was like the nomenclature of the It was just the new guy was called Peter Grace. Whoever came in, they gave him the name
Doesn't
Peter.
matter what your actual name is.
Yeah. It's just, you're Peter Grace. Go out there and preach for a while. Public records show Grace lives near the church in the woods somewhere in a cabin. Peter Grace. In June of 2025, Grace was appointed pastor of Maria Reina de las Americas Parish in Mount Olive in the mission of Santa Teresa in Beulahville. Now let's talk about our hookers, shall we? And then we'll get out of here. That's what Father Oliveira said. 20-year-old Jaquavis Benson, or I'm sorry, Brinson of Benson. It's a tongue twister. That's what he said. 20-year-old Jaquavis Brinson of Benson faces a misdemeanor charge of prostitution. The sheriff's office say deputies saw a suspicious vehicle outside of the church just before 1 a.m. on Monday. Father was getting some on a Monday because his weekends are full. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, he was busy doing the holy sacraments and such.
Well, they were just out in the parking lot doing Bible study is what happens here, Jess. He was just delivering the sacraments to her, if you know what I
The
mean.
body of Christ or something
Well,
like
well,
that.
the body of Father, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Here's a little blood of Christ to loosen you up there, sweetheart.
Oh, God.
You know, little body of Father
Oh,
coming afterwards, if you know what I mean.
I need to go take a bath in holy water after this story.
So they're outside the church before 1 a.m. on Monday when the cops catch up with them and found the 20-year-old on the property. According to the sheriff's office, Father Oliveira Guerrero contacted Brinson on an app to meet him at the church, and they had been engaged in a little intercourse. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more. Brinson had a $10,000 secured bond to get out. No word on if the church paid it.
That's what you're using my tithe for? How dare you?
Well, it's charitable work, Jess. It's charitable
I guess.
work. Mm-hmm.
They probably use it for worse things. We just don't hear about it.
That's true. If you think that's bad, I think this is our last story and then a palate cleanser.
Okay.
Although you may need something to clean up after the palate cleanser. Just saying, we're celebrating an anniversary for our palate cleanser, by the way. Here's the cold hard facts. For this story, a man was arrested for copulating with a refrigerator at Trader Joe's.
Dang. How? What?
I told you, nude, crude, and lewd this week, Jess. That's
Gonna get electrocuted.
right. Or you're going to screw up somebody's produce, one or the other.
Oh, wow.
Can you imagine somebody finding a groove in a head of lettuce at Trader Joe's?
Gross.
I know.
Ew.
I know I took it too far. I'm just trying to get to the story because evidently now Como News, KOMO News, doesn't want to show me the story. We're going to Seattle, the home of produce screwing everywhere, I guess. If it'll let me get to this story. Holy cow, it is. There we go. A 33-year-old man was arrested after allegedly making threats with a knife and getting up close and personal with a refrigerator inside a Trader Joe's grocery store in Seattle. Because if you can't love the one you're with, love a refrigerator, I guess.
I think that's how that song goes.
I
Yeah.
think it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Here are the cold, hard facts. The Seattle Police Department said in a press release, as they said that tongue in cheek and laughing all the way.
Cold hard.
Cold, hard facts. Yeah.
Okay.
They loved writing that line. I'll tell you that much.
Somebody was feeling very witty and proud of himself.
Yes, they were. According to police, officers responded to the TJs on the 1700 block or 16th Avenue East around 2:15 p.m. Yes, in the middle of the afternoon, following reports of a man using racial slurs and brandishing a knife at security agents. It's always the fun kids who are doing this in the middle of the afternoon. The suspect also reportedly threatened to kill everyone in the store. Of course he was. Well, he's screwing the refrigerator. A security guard at the store said the man was initially confronted for allegedly humping, his words, a refrigerator and attempting to do the same to a customer. Well, you got to
Oh,
choose.
no.
Yeah, I mean, you got to choose inanimate object or customer, right? I mean, you can't have both.
I mean, for all you perverts out there, take the fridge every time, please.
Yeah,
Do us all a favor.
the fridge doesn't fight back. I
Yeah,
mean,
don't hump the customers.
yeah. The customer's always right. The fridge is always lucid. I don't know. The fridge is
Something
always
like that.
fridge is always willing. When challenged, the suspect became upset, kicking a flower display and throwing apples. He sounds sane to me.
I mean, he sounds like he's on meth, but okay.
Multiple officers arrived and arrested the suspect for felony harassment. He was booked into the King County Jail. Police noted that the suspect is a registered sex offender, and he's hit the trifecta. Detectives from the Homicide and Assault Unit have been assigned to the case, and the investigation's ongoing. I bet you this to them is like the mother lode, right? So let me get this straight, Joe. He kicked a flower display, he threw apples, and he humped the refrigerator. Well, we got a live one here. This is going to take the afternoon. Did you bring your lunch, or we're going to have to order in?
This is definitely a highlight of their careers, I'm sure.
Yeah. This is the Trader Joe's bandit to them. I suppose this guy's going to live on in infamy. All right. With that, we're going to need a palate cleanser because that one's going to stick in the imagination for a bit. But to this, I say, Jess, how much of a cleanser do you really need? Because that was pretty lighthearted. You're going to need a story that sticks in the mind. One that should live in infamy for at least a couple of decades. One that in Chicago lives in infamy and revolves around a famous band.
Ooh, what could it be, Tim?
Well, Jess, this year marks the 21st anniversary of an incident that happened around the Dave Matthews Band.
Ooh, I like Dave Matthews.
Are you a big Dave Matthews fan?
I mean, I don't know if I'm a big fan of anyone in particular, but I like his music.
You know who's not a big fan of Dave Matthews, Jess?
Who?
City of Chicago.
Oh, what did he do?
Let's tell you, Jess, because this will be a good way to end today's show. 21 years later, Jess, the Dave Matthews bus poop incident has made Chicagoans laugh and groan.
What? How do I not remember this? 21 years ago, I would have been in the prime of my life listening to Dave Matthews.
Well, what happened was Dave Matthews' tour bus emptied its 800-pound septic tank on people taking a cruise.
No, the original poop cruise.
A poop cruise, yes. We go to River North, where Dave Matthews' relationship with Chicago is a storied one. Last summer, Matthews was spotted in the infield seats at Wrigley Field with an unsuspecting fan in a DMB t-shirt sitting in the bleachers, nary the wiser. But not every Chicagoan has had a near miss with Dave. This week marks the 21st anniversary of a moment that, for fans of Chicago music culture, will live in dysentery. The day that a Dave Matthews Band tour bus dumped 800 pounds of feces into the Chicago River, offering an unpleasant shower to the unsuspecting passengers of a tour boat that was passing underneath.
Oh. God bless. That is so disgusting.
It is, isn't it? On the afternoon of August 8th, 2004, a charter bus belonging to the Dave Matthews Band drove across the Kinsey Street Bridge and empties its septic tank over the Chicago River. I can't imagine they thought that was a good idea, right?
I mean, is that legal? You can't just put poop in the river.
No, you can't just, no, it was illegal dumping, so to speak.
Yeah.
It was illegal dumping.
Oh.
The sewage ran through the metal grates of the bridge, and rather than landing in the water itself, which is a health hazard, It splattered onto more than 100 people on a sightseeing boat operated by the Chicago Architecture Foundation.
That is so bad.
Isn't that horrible?
Ugh.
Brett McNeil, who was a reporter for the Tribune at the time, was in the splash zone that day, taking an architectural tour on his day off with his then girlfriend. I got to think that relationship didn't last.
Yeah, got a little stinky.
Yeah. Anytime scat's involved in a relationship, it's short-lived, right?
You took me on a date and I got covered in shit. We're over.
Right. Even if it's Dave Matthews shit, it's over. Right.
I mean, it's kind of cool if you're a big Dave Matthews fan.
Hey, come on. I had Dave Matthews shit on you. Aren't we good?
Yeah.
He recounted to the Block Club, I sat towards the bow of the boat, so I didn't have a very good view of what was happening to us. In the moments before the bus passed over the boat, McNeil thought the noise was a street sweeper or a truck the city used to water flower beds. But as the brown water splashed down, hitting McNeil in the arm, there was an immediate stunned silence, then eventual panic from the passengers as the porta potty smell began to make itself known, McNeil said. The docent didn't grasp what was happening in real time, McNeil said. I think he thought we'd been hit with water. Then a passenger from the back of the boat said, "That's not water, buddy. That's urine." Oh. From there was a Monty Python skit-like vomitorium as the passengers reeled from the brown slurry that had passed overhead, McNeil said. A motorcyclist with his helmet upturned had to dump it out overboard.
Ugh.
One woman sitting near him said she'd had her mouth open.
No.
She swallowed
Ew.
Dave Matthews shit.
Nope.
McNeil, his girlfriend, and several others raced below decks to huddle over the air conditioning vents. From inside the glass enclosure, he could see people retching and puking over the side of the boat.
Oh my gosh.
The boat raced back to the dock, ignoring the wake zone so the filthy stunned passengers could disembark. They gunned it through no wake zone so people.
Yeah, it's just like there are no rules right now. We are covered in crap.
I remember people standing on the dock saying, "How are we going to drive home?" McNeil said. Only a few days later, the two Econoline buses in question were identified while parked outside the Peninsula Hotel where Dave Matthews Band was staying during the Chicago stop. The rest is Chicago history. The culprit turned out to be the band's tour bus driver, then 42-year-old Stefan Wohl, who pleaded guilty to charges of reckless conduct and discharging contaminants to cause water pollution. He got hit with 18 months on probation, 150 hours of community service, and had to pay a $10,000 fine to Friends of the Chicago River.
Wow. He deserved every last bit of that.
Yeah, he did. The incident has continued to capture the imaginations of Chicagoans many years later, with social media posts and homespun signs along the Kinsey River Bridge commemorating the spot of the sloppy scenario. In 2023, Riot Fest put up a commemorative plaque honoring the occasion as a sort of official remembrance. Not everyone is on board with the remembrance, however. The Chicago Architecture Foundation, the organization that runs the river tours, gave Block Club the following response when asked for a comment. Here's their quote. "There is certainly no joy in reliving the 2004 event that traumatized our passengers and crew, as well as Chicago's First Lady, a family business, and the CAC, a nonprofit organization. Together, we have provided acclaimed architecture river cruises on Chicago's waterways for more than 30 years, and we choose not to let what took place that day diminish our contributions in showcasing the city we love with the world. Out of respect for all who were affected, we will not provide any additional comment. Thank you for your understanding." Margaret Frisbee, executive director of the nonprofit Friends of the Chicago River, remembers the incident well. As deputy director at the time, she was running a canoe race on the Chicago River that day. We were horrified by what happened to those people on the boat because it's an unimaginable experience, she said. Why the fascination? The hate for Dave Matthews and the love of poop jokes, mused Jeffrey Shue, creative director for Riot Fest. One of his first duties in 2016 was to write an article on the event, as he remembers it having more views than anything that Riot Fest website had posted before then, even before announcements and lineups. To compensate for the event or the incident, Dave Matthews Band donated $50,000 to the Friends of the Chicago River, which the group has since used to start an endowment to further its public policy work to clean up the river and make it more accessible to Chicagoans. But many Chicagoans see the fecal fable as an erstwhile badge of honor for the city's rough and tumble culture. They've turned it into lore.
Yes. It's Chicago folklore right there.
It's amazing. That's amazing. I want to show you the sign here, Jess. But after I read this quote, it says, some Chicagoans have even taken to conspiracy theories, like imagining that Dave Matthews himself pulled the lever. But McNeil takes umbrage to those ideas. He says, I couldn't care less about Dave Matthews Band, but I think he personally and the brand of his jam band have paid kind of an unfair price for a contractor's F-up, McNeil said. It's like making Ford pay a significant price for the fucking Bronco chase. In other words, O.J. Simpson.
True.
Okay, so I got to show you this sign. This is the sign that the aforementioned group that we were talking about put up at the river. It says, in August of 2004, at this very location, a dumb tour bus dumped 800 pounds of poo on some people. Hashtag never forget. Hashtag always remember. And it's right there at the river.
Never forget.
Never forget.
And I bet the people on the cruise were probably trying to forget.
Oh,
Ugh.
they've been trying to forget for quite some time. So you got to love it. All right. That'll do it. That'll do it for today.
Oh, I don't know how much of a palate cleanser that was, but I did enjoy it.
Yeah, it was quite fun, wasn't it?
It was kind of nasty, but
Kind of nasty. Kind of nasty. All right, let's do a real palate cleanser here. Let's talk about the book that was on today's program, which is more of a palate cleanser. It's a very good book, the kind of book that you'll want to read over and over and over again. It's called Bless Your Heart, a thriller, and Leigh Dunlap is the author. So by all means, it's in the description of this program. Go get it.
I just love the title.
Yes, bless your heart.
Bless your heart.
Bless your heart, Dave Matthews. I mean, but go get that book. Very good book. And that'll be that.
Do it.
Tomorrow on the program, Supernatural News. And then Thursday, I'll give you this much of a clue. We're going to learn how to draw certain cryptids.
Fun.
And other things as well.
I love drawing. Okay, I'm so excited.
So we're going to incorporate, much like with your trips, Jess, we're going to incorporate a little art into the program.
Yay.
On Thursday's program. So there you go. All right. So that'll do it for today's program. Jess, people want autographed books. Tell them how to get them.
You can find my website, jessicafreeberg.com. You can shoot me a message from there, and I would be happy to set you up with one.
Perfect. All right. So that's the week right here on True Crime Tuesday and Darkness Radio. For Jessica Freeberg, I'm Tim Dennis. Join us tomorrow, Supernatural News. And thank you for watching and listening to the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday.
For more audio and video archives of True Crime Tuesday, intriguing content, and cool swag, check out darknessradioshow.com. The executive producer of True Crime Tuesday is Troy Palmer. If you enjoyed today's program, make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. And be sure to join us tomorrow for Supernatural News with Jessica Freeberg.